Good afternoon. Welcome to Current Affairs. Today, I would like to speak to you again on GST and its implications. First of all, my small submission for you all is that if you are watching this video for the first time, I request you to watch the previous video on GST, where majority of the fundamentals have been completed there. So here I am directly going into the concept of the GST, and once it becomes a reality, what will be the implications on India? That's what I am going to talk about this. That's the reason why I kept the title as the GST, its implications. So the latest news with respect to the GST is that, as we all know, so this is an attempt that has come to the parliament in the form of the 122nd Constitutional Amendment Bill. So that bill was passed by the Lok Sabha last year and with certain modifications. Last week it has been passed by the so-called, this Rajya Sabha. And yesterday evening, Lok Sabha has also accepted the changes that have been made by the Rajya Sabha. Meaning the first step is over. Clear? So the parliament has passed the constitutional amendment bill, that is 122nd. So now the next step is that this bill will be going to the various states, and out of all the states, it should be accepted by not less than half of the states. Then finally, it will be going to the President of India. President of India will be signing this, and it is going to become Constitutional Amendment Act. So, but how soon it is going to happen, that we need to wait and watch. But the government is still hopeful that it is going to be done before the so-called April 1st. So obviously, government is planning to roll out this by April 1st, 2017. Right? So this is one thing. And apart from this, we'll also try to understand what are the implications of this. Number one is that, so these are all the assumptions what we are going to talk about this. What is going to be the reality, that will be understanding only after the actual implementation of the so-called this GST. First point is that I'll be showing you all the points, but let me talk to you first of all. It is going to address the hindrances in our competitiveness. So there are so many loopholes with respect to the present system, where we have separate central sales tax and the state sales tax, that is nothing but the VAT, value added tax. So there is a tax on tax, so many hindrances are there, and there is a suppression as far as the competitiveness is concerned. So that particular one is going to be completely eradicated with the GST. And with respect to in the previous one, in the previous era, so we have the multiple taxes, some taxes at the state level, some taxes at the central level, and multiple jurisdictions are also there. So everything can be avoided through this a unified tax that is called GST. And apart from this, we are going to remove the concept of a tax on tax. Interstate commerce has been hampered a lot, meaning the goods that are entering from one state to the other state, they were imposed of the so-called the entry tax, otherwise called octroi. Right, and again, you need to pay the central sales tax. So this created a lot of burden on the commerce, that is a business. That is the reason why the people who manufacture the goods in one state, they are trying to sell the goods in the same state itself. But if you cross one state to the other state, you need to pay so huge central sales tax, and you need to pay the so-called the entry tax. So because of this fear, majority of the institutions, majority of the companies that were developing the goods, they were just storing those goods in a particular state. Demand may be in some other state, but the manufacturing state is keeping the goods only in that state because of the heavy taxes. So with this GST, what is going to happen? This problem will be eradicated. This problem will be eradicated And the burden of the entry tax and the central sales tax is going to come down like anything. Clear? And this is all going to happen once we start implementing the GST. And the beautiful achievement with respect to India is that for the first time almost all the political parties in the country have come together. Political ideology may be different. Political ideology may be different. They may be speaking in different tones. But with respect to the development of the nation, so which is a long pending one, the so-called the GST, the GST has been accepted by the so-called the parliament, where we have so many political parties. And when it goes to the states also, there will be no much problem with respect to the states, and the states are going to accept this. And I told you already, all the states need not accept. It can be accepted by not less than half of the states. Then the job of the this government will be over, and this GST is going to become a reality very very soon. Clear? Next. So once this GST is implemented, because of the hindrances of movement of the goods from one state to the other state that will be removed, it will enhance the ease of doing the business. Clear? So the demand may be somewhere and the goods are somewhere. So these problems will be there, and ease of doing will be enhanced. Clear? That is number one. Number two, you are going to promote the cooperative federalism. What do you mean by this? These words I have used even in the previous class. Federation means a division of powers between central government and state governments. Fine, that is one thing. Second one is that every state government will look for its own interest. Obviously, their state is very important for them. Their people are very, very important for them. But through this GST, what is going to happen? There should be a complete cooperation between the central government and also the state governments. Plus, state governments are also expected to cooperate with each other, because now you are allowing the entry of the goods and services from one state to the other state without any obstructions. So that is possible only through complete cooperation. That is the reason why we are using the concept called cooperative federalism. That is the reason why some experts will say the basic concept of cooperative federalism is that it is not the just the division of the powers. Though the powers have been divided, each organ at each level is strengthening itself. Meaning, in every decision after the GST is going to be implemented, both state governments and the central government will have the say in something. Previously, so that was the central government which is considered to be more powerful. But now, with the concept of this GST, the state governments will have more say with respect to the imposition of the taxes and increasing the taxes. How? I am going to tell you after some time. Now, right? So in this scenario, what is happening? The states are going to give up VAT, value added taxes, that is going to be removed by the states, and the central government is going to give up the excise tax, that is excess duty, and the service tax. But both get the share from the unified GST collected nationally. Clear? I was telling you in the previous class also. Now we have three concepts. One is the GST, that is CGST, Central Goods and Services Tax, States Goods and Services Tax. Third one is the Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Okay, three are there. Now, so the another big advantage with this particular GST is that the black money that is present in the country is going to come out. How? I'll tell you. So you have the concept called input tax credits. What exactly you mean by this? So let me tell you in this manner. For example, if you go to a shop, most of the shopkeepers, right, from a small business establishment to the larger business establishment, they will say one thing: do you want a bill or not? Do you want a bill or not? Because most of the people in the country are common people with the lack of awareness, especially with respect to the tax system in India. Even today also, majority of the people are not aware of the tax system. And when the shopkeeper is asking for whether you want a bill or not, if we say, if I want a bill, then they will say 5% is extra. Why? Tax. What is the tax? Nobody will say. Right. So when a common man comes to here, that 5% is extra means obviously he has to take out more money and pay. So why? I want the goods. That is the reason why he will take the goods, right? And he will try to avoid taking the bill. This is I think you might have this personal experience. Observe very clearly what is going to happen in the country very soon. It's a beautiful change that is going to take place in the country after a period of time, and nobody is going to escape from the clutches of these taxes. No. So previously, so right, so the person used to get scared and used to say that no bill, nothing. Come on, take this money. Come on, give me the product, and it'll go away. Then what about the tax? So the tax has to reach the government. So if the tax reaches the government, then only government can utilize more money for the development. On one side, we talk about there is a less development. On the other side, we don't bother about the payment of the taxes. Whose mistake is this? So this is nothing but there are so many loopholes in the system. Right? It is present in every country, especially country like India, because we are the largest democratic country in the world. We have to strengthen ourselves. The most beautiful thing in India is that everyone he will pay the so-called the indirect taxes. But these taxes are not going to the government because of the too much of intelligence that is operated by some people, whether you want a product with bill or without bill. Clear? And some people, some shopkeepers, they will say whether you want a formal bill or informal bill. Clear? Yesterday, I think you might have just watched television when Prime Minister was speaking. Yesterday only, I'm talking about. Prime Minister was saying, speaking. He was talking about the Kacha bill and Pakka bill. Kacha bill and Pakka bill. What is the difference between these two? Kacha bill is nothing but the informal bill. Pakka bill is the formal bill. So on the formal bill, what happens? So whatever you are paying, so that will come under the tax, and it will be going to the so-called the government. And this is the fraud that is being made by so many shopkeepers in India. Now what will happen? So you cannot escape from this. Everybody has to deliver only the so-called the formal bill, that is nothing but the Pakka bill. Right? So we are ready to pay so the extra money in the form of the tax, because the prices of the goods may come down over a period of time. Definitely it is going to come down. Clear? With respect to goods, it is going to come down. With respect to services, it is going to rise for a period of time. So these imbalances will be there in every country. So whenever you change the structure in the taxation system, but over a period of time, everything will be stabilized, and the people will start enjoying the products and the services at the very cheaper rates, and that will promote the competitiveness in the so-called the country. Meaning is simple. So when we are spending less, obviously we are saving more. That more money can be utilized for purchasing more goods. So meaning the demand will increase in the market. So when the demand is increasing, the production should also increase. For the production to increase, you have to develop your industries. And each industry has to work with efficiency and quality. Obviously, what is happening at the end of the day, the quality of the products will increase. If you are not giving me the quality to products, if you are not serving efficiently, we'll go to somebody else. Because the market is open, the market is competitive market. Right? But of course, these are the beautiful things to say, but everything depends on how exactly the government is going to implement this. Hopefully, just a minute. I think this is, yeah. So hopefully as all the political parties are serious with respect to GST, state governments are also cooperating with the so-called this central government in amending the constitution. So let's expect everything to be very, very fine. But 1, 2, 3 years, that will be, this certain imbalances will be there. And India has the capacity. India has the capacity so to withstand these particular pressures. I'm clear, very, very important. So that is a so the days of selling the goods with receipt or without receipt, formal bill or informal bill, those days will go away. Those days will go away. And with this, what is happening? The black money that is present in the country will also enter into the market. Meaning more capital will be available in the market, more money will be available in the market. If more money is available, that will lead to more production. Clear? If there is more production at reasonable rates, the demands will increase. At the same time, if the demand is increasing, you are trying to increase the purchasing power parity of the people. Since the goods are available at the reasonable rates, more people will come forward to purchase it. Clear? And our dependence on imports will be reduced. Clear? Ease of doing business is increasing. India will have the capacity to produce more, and our exports will be more. The more will be the exports, the more revenue will be generated. Clear? The problem of this balance of payment will be solved, and India will be on the so-called the surplus side. India will be on the side of surplus. The more surplus the economy, the more will be the GDP, gross domestic product. It will be increased. Right? If it is continued for a period of time, obviously the nation becomes a developed nation. With respect to economy, the nation will become a developed nation over a period of time. Of course, there are various definitions for a developed nation, right? So I'll talk to you regarding that later. So now first I'll show you the document, then I will move further. Just a moment. I'll open the document. Yes, now. Look at this. The consensus has been achieved in the parliament with the 122nd, please. So this is the 122nd constitutional amendment bill. What next? It will go to the states. Once it is accepted by the states with a simple majority, it will be going to the president. Implications: it will address the hindrances in our competitiveness. Multiple taxes and multiple jurisdictions can be avoided. Tax and tax will be avoided. Interstate commerce has been hampered due to the dead weight burden of entry tax and central taxes, and these two will be eliminated with the so-called this GST. It will enhance the doing of the business. How? I have explained you just now. It will promote cooperative federalism. I explained you, right? Next. And states will give up the so-called the VAT, and central government will give up excise duty and the service tax and some other taxes, but they both get share in unified GST collected nationally. This will enhance efficiency and overall tax collection. Good. The companies need not maintain stock depots to avoid payment of the interstate taxes. This will add capital and it will lead to more demand in the market. Simultaneously, it is leading to the quality and efficiency. Wonderful things. Input tax credits are linked to having the proof of tax paid. Clear? The software is going to come into the picture. This is the place where IT is going to play a very crucial role. At every level, what is going to happen, that will be registered online, that will be recorded online. Such a beautiful thing. So the future will become very, very difficult for the people to get escape from this tax regime. Right. So note the concept of with receipt or without receipt days would go away. This will ensure that the black money enters into the market, and it will. The meaning is simple. Black money enters into the market means the this undeclared money that will become a declared money. Black money will become the white money. The more white money, the more money that is present in the market, it will enhance uh, the economy of the nation. Money has to be there in the market, money has to be circulated, money should lead to more development. But if it is a black money, that is unaccounted money, government will not understand where exactly this money is. That is the reason why people who are maintaining the black money, they will come out, and more money will be circulated into the market. Clear? Now, the next concept is that what should be the GST rate? Long back in the year 2003, the finance ministry made it clear that the rate should be 12%. 2003, I told you, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of India, this idea was mooted for the first time. So if the GST is implemented, let the GST rate will be 12%. Clear? 12%. But where is 2003 and where are we now? It's a very, 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 very long time, more than a decade. The things have been changed now. Now, the general talk is that, general talk, right? The finance minister has not accepted for this. It is a demand made by the other political parties. It is an expectation by the common people. Clear that it should be, GST should be 18%. Clear? If it is 18%, obviously the cost of the goods will be reduced. Cost of the goods will be reduced. That's the reason why you might have seen in the newspaper, like the value of the cars, right? And these motor vehicles. So all these things are going to come down. But what about the services? Service tax that you're already paying 15%. Now, when it is unified, service tax will be increased from 15 to 18%. Obviously, so our this postpaid bills, this our internet connections, all other this banking services, clear, everything is going to be increased. So this is going to become dear, meaning the price is going to be increased. Right? There is no other go. There is no other go. But if it is 18%, but the finance minister never accepted for this. Meaning he did not say that he has no right to talk about this at this stage, but that is going to be decided by GST Council. GST Council is a body, it is yet to be created. It is going to be a powerful body that will be created, where the representatives from all the states will be present here. That representative is none other than finance minister of the concerned state. Clear? Point number one. Plus, at the same time, the finance minister of union government will be there, and he will be the ex officio chairman. Plus, his representatives will also be there in the GST Council. Clear? And the chairman will be the finance minister of the union, and the vice chairman will be the finance minister of one of the states. And the voting right will be 1/3 weightage will be given to the central government, and 2/3 weightage will be given to the so-called the states. So all together, if you want to take a final decision, that should be accepted by 3/4 majority of the GST Council. So tomorrow, neither central government nor state government alone cannot decide a particular tax, indirect tax I'm talking about. Clear? Direct taxes we are not talking, right? So now, so the decision has to be taken by the so-called the GST. But there will be one specific problem, right? So this is the how the government is going to address this. We have to wait and watch. That problem is that there will be no state specified tax. State specified tax. Long back, if I'm not wrong, in the year 1972, this in Tamil Nadu government has imposed a tax. That was a flood time in Tamil Nadu, and you know that so many people have marked even for that particular tax. So that money that was collected through that tax, that money has been used for the so-called the midday meal scheme. The people who laughed at this scheme during those days, they realized later, and the dropout rate of children in the schools has been reduced because midday meal is available to the children. Parents have started sending their children to the schools. Clear? Hope you are following this one. So that is not decided by central government. That was decided by Tamil Nadu government to meet a particular, situation. So meaning state has the right to impose a tax for a particular purpose. But now with the implementation of the GST, states will be losing these powers. Getting this? Very, very important. Similarly, Maharashtra government also introduced the scheme called Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. And at the national level, it has been adopted in the year 2005. So in the form of the NREGA, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So meaning is simple. Today we call it this as the Mahatma Gandhi NREGA. Now, so if the states want to impose a tax and collect taxes in this particular format, how exactly they will do it now? That has to be addressed. It's a very, very serious implication because the states will be losing the powers too, right? Individually for imposing the tax. Everything has to be discussed in the GST Council. That is the reason why we are calling this as the unified structure. Hope you are getting this. These are the very, 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 very important points for the examination point of view. But how do you decide the so-called this GST cap? Cap in the sense the limitation. Whether the GST will be 12%, 18%, not 12%. It was a whole thing. So it will be minimum 18%. Take it for granted. Or it will be 19, 20, 21 or 22. So we have to wait and watch, and the decision has to be taken by yet to be created GST Council. That is going to come into the picture later. Clear? But one idea is that will be decided by RNR. Just wait, I'll show you the document. It stands for Revenue Neutral Rate. So what is this RNR? So revenue neutral rate, once it is applied, it is going to generate same revenue for the states. Whatever the revenue they are getting, depending on that one, same revenue is going to the states. But there are so many issues with respect to RNR because all the states are not producing the same. All states' economy is not the same. You have some larger states, strong states with the economy, and you have the poor states with respect to economy. So that is going to be a disadvantage. And another disadvantage with respect to GST is that GST, as I told you earlier, also it is an indirect tax. Whenever government wants to increase its revenue, the government looks more towards the indirect tax rather than the direct tax. I told you in the previous class also, only 4% of India's population are paying the direct taxes, income tax, I'm telling you. But when it comes to the indirect taxes, almost every individual is coming into the clutches of the indirect taxes. Clear? So now what will happen if the revenues are not sufficient tomorrow? Again, the GST Council may propose that GST can be increased. So from 18 it will go to 20, 21, 22, 23. If you keep on increasing like this, then what will happen? People will be under deep trouble. That's the reason why intellectual section of the society, rather who are very much associated with the economy, right, Indian economics, these people are demanding that there should be a GST rate cap so that you will not go beyond that. If you go beyond that, what is going to happen? You are increasing the taxes. If you are increasing the taxes, means you are putting more burden on the people. Hope you got it. Right? Maybe in the first go, it is a little difficult to understand, but I want you to understand very clearly because you are going to get a question on GST in the main examination. Take it for granted. Okay? If you did not understand, please watch this video again. Every point is so sensitive point and a delicate point. You have to be so clear with this. Yes? Now, I'll show you the document once again. Look at this. What should be the GST rate? 2003 report mentioned as 12%. Now the general talk is 18%. And if you take R&R, revenue neutral rate, into consideration, if it is applied, it will leave all the states with the same revenue as before. Here, the present entry tax and octroi is taken into consideration. This is leading to increase of GST cap. Right? The result will be known only after a year, not immediately. Higher the GST and more will be the inflation. That is the reason why you need to contain this. Look at this. So when it comes to the indirect taxes, they will affect the poor more than the rich. Why? Right? For rich people, it does not make any difference. But when it comes to poor, it makes difference because every person is coming under the clutches of the indirect taxes. Look at India, when you compare direct taxes with indirect taxes. Indirect taxes is contributing 65% and direct taxes is contributing 35%. It is not easy for the government to bring more people into the clutches of the direct taxes. It is not possible. Clear? Only 4% of the Indians pay the direct tax, right? If the GST rate cap is not adopted, the rate would drift higher in future and that is going to lead to more income inequality. It is the biggest disadvantage. Similarly, when it comes to the tax disputes at the central level and the state level, tax disputes are always there, right? Everybody is supposed to pay the tax, clear direct taxes, indirect taxes. If these companies are not paying the taxes, then they will be brought to the books and they will be made to stand before the tribunals. With respect to the central government indirect taxes, these cases are going to the tribunal. And in the tribunal, the cases are being dragged for years, Issue is not settling down. That's the reason why today, if you look at the this statistics, 1,50,000 crores worth of the tax cases they are pending. 1,50,000 crores. Right? And these cases are being dragged further. Biggest disadvantage. So because this is related to money, that should be disposed of at the earliest. But this is not the problem. This is not the problem at the state level because the state sales tax commissioners have been provided with the authority to dispose the genuine cases at the earliest. Appropriate cases at the earliest, he has been given the powers. Clear? So that is the reason why at the state level, the VAT-related issues, if they are present, the issues means disputes. You have to use the word disputes. VAT-related disputes, they are getting disposed of at the earliest. But at the central level, it is not happening. Now, once the GST comes into picture, there is nothing like any centralized state. So you are going to create a tribunal, so this council, and these things will be decided by the council. But which method you are going to adapt? Are you going to create another tribunal? Or are you going to adopt the process that has been being followed by the so-called states? The easy process you need to follow, whatever the policy that is being followed by the states to get these cases disposed of, that must be followed. Is that okay? Very, 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 very important. That is a point I would like to make it. To please have a look at this once again. Central taxes go to the tribunal process and killing a lot of time. At the state level, what is happening? The state level tax commissioner can dispose of valid grievances at the state level that payers must much faster. So this difference is called review versus revised approach to tax disputes. Clear, at the central level, it is review. It is taking a lot of time. At the state level, this is the revise. It is taking very, 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 very less time. Clear? Last but not least, I would like to talk to you with respect to the GST Council. The proposed GST Council, I'm sorry, the proposed GST Council will come into the picture, and that GST Council is going to decide about the GST and the structure. I told you already. It is headed by the central finance minister, and his representatives will also be there with one-third capacity, with one-third voting powers rather. And the state, all the state finance ministers will also be the representatives, right? And one of the state's finance minister will become the vice chairman. So this GST council is going to be a powerful body, and that is going to create the, that is going to decide about the tax rates now. Clear? Meaning is simple. Neither central government nor the state governments will have the exclusive powers of deciding the tax now. That should be decided by the GST Council. This is in the nature of all India. With respect to deciding the state taxes, central government will play a crucial role. With respect to decide about the central government taxes, state governments will also play a crucial role. Wonderful thing. This is called cooperative federalism. Am I clear? Very, 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 very important. Is that okay? And I have some more points with me with respect to GST Council, and I would like to share those points with you. Please look at this. It's a de facto council of states and representatives from the Union Finance Ministry. One state will have one vote. It's an assumption, please. That is the reason why I kept the word assumption in the bracket, please. It is not yet decided. Because, you know, some people have the opinion that if you give one vote per state, one vote per state, this is nothing but injustice to the larger states which are earning more revenue. That is the reason why voting rights should be decided on the basis of the economic strength of the concerned state. Am I clear? That is the reason why I kept the word assumption in the bracket. Now, the GST Council is the key decision-making body that will take all important decisions regarding GST. It will have a representation from the central and as well as from the states. The constitution of the council is such that both the center and the states will be unable to take a decision without the others' concurrence. Exclusively, they cannot take a decision on their own. They will be unable to take a decision without the others' concurrence. It's a move that will promote cooperative federalism, and it gives the states a major say in the way the indirect taxes will be administered across the nation. Look at this. The GST will subsume most of the indirect taxes of the center and the states, including excise duty, service tax, value-added tax, entertainment tax, luxury tax, and octroi. All these will be going away. This means the GST Council will oversee tax collection that at present exceeds rupees 13 trillion, according to a rough calculation of the center and states tax collection from the taxes on the goods and services. It's a rough estimation, 13 trillion. The GST Council will be chaired by the Union's Finance Minister with a State Finance Minister as a deputy chairman. All the state finance ministers along with the Minister of State for Finance in charge of the revenue at the central level will be the part of the council. Is a fact. The council will also decide which goods and services will be exempted from the tax to protect the common man, as well as a fine print of the sharing of the administrative duties between the central board of the excise and customs and the state tax officers. See, here I would like to say one thing. For example, this alcohol. Alcohol that is used for the human consumption has been exempted out of this. Clear, that's a point number one. So, with respect to the duties on petroleum products, the decision has not been taken so far. Whether they will be coming under the GST or not, the decision has not been taken. But one thing is sure, alcohol that is used for the human consumption, not for the medicinal purposes, alcohol that is used for the human consumption is exempted from this. Am I clear? Next. And once the GST Council comes into picture, it will take a crucial step. Interestingly, every decision of the GST Council need to be taken with 3/4 majority. Out of the total, it should be accepted by 3/4. While the central government's vote will have a 1/3 weightage, and the states put together will have 2/3 weightage, making a near consensus between the central and the states, which is an imperative for any major decision. Please, please, please remember this. This is how the cooperative federalism has to work. Look at this. And the council will have the final say on the mechanism to resolve disputes that may arise between the center and the states or between the states. So, with respect to this one, whether any tribunal will be created or not, so that we have to wait and watch. Clear? So, I have completed the till the latest developments, please. And kindly remember, out of this, certain things may be changed over a period of time. That is the reason why 3 more bills are going to come into the picture. One is with respect to CGST, SGST, and IGST. Clear? And we need to wait and watch how quickly they are going to be cleared up, and whether this from April 1st, 2017, whether this will be rolling in or not, we need to wait and watch. Clear? And keep following the updates, and whenever there is any important updation, so I'll be talking to you on the same day itself. Clear? So hope you are clear. And see here, all the students who are writing the examination this year, please watch the previous video of GST and this video once again to make the things more clear. Lots of intricacies are there, lots of connections are there. Is it okay? So that is the reason why it's my sincere request to you, all my close friends, to please read it. To please watch this, and by the end of this month, I'll be uploading the what do you call this notes, and you can read from the notes also. And last month notes for the month of July, that has already been uploaded in the site, and you may read that. Okay, but with respect to GST and other points with respect to this month, that I'll be uploading after the completion of this month. Okay, so thank you so much for being with me this afternoon. I wish you all a very, very good luck. And this is the lunchtime. And I think most of you must be hungry. Clear? Nicely, so many are watching now. Even during this time, you must be hungry and have very delicious foods. Is that okay? Take care, and I wish you all the very, very best, and see you in the next class. Thank you.